If I have to tell you about the journey, it's like a Gujarati girl shifted from Gujarat to Bombay somewhere in 2009. And I'm very much concerned about my skin and especially my hair because since my childhood, I have used only one hair oil, which my mom used to make it. And my nanny actually used to make it for my mom and her siblings. And then my mom started for me and my siblings, and I'm the third generation. So every time I used to go and meet my mom, and I used to carry hair oil bottles with me. But then gradually it was a little bit difficult for me to carry all the bottles from Gujarat and to travel to Bombay. And one of the day I just asked my mom, will you be able to tell me how to make this oil? And then she gave me a list of the jadi booties and oil. She told me, go and find out the jadi booties and oil. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Surprisingly, I went to the Bombay market from where you get all the jadi booties and all that. And when you ask people why I am looking for a black sesame oil, so they were like, हमको नहीं पता है काले तिल का तेल क्या है, हमको यही पता है मेरे पास तिल का तेल है. So अभी आप मैडम देखो ये काला है कि सफेद है.
Hey there, welcome to a new episode of Voice It with Karishma. Today we have an Ayurvedic wellness brand and the CEO with us today. Me personally, I am trained as an Ayurvedic expert and I love the whole concept of Ayurveda. I'm always talking and preaching about the aspect about why it is so important and how can we embrace it in the modern way. We have Krishna Tamalia Vora with us today. She's from the Mom's Therapy. It's this beautiful modern Ayurvedic wellness brand, and she makes these beautiful products, all which are organic, really well made. And I personally tried a few products. Krishna, actually loved them. They were really nice. Congratulations for the brand, and I'm very happy to have you here today, and I'm looking forward to having a good conversation with you today.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much.
So Krishna, tell us, what was the concept like? I know Ayurveda is so spoken about. Everybody is, Indians especially, right? Like they have this emotional connect with Ayurveda because, we're like, it's the foundation of our country, right? As far as, the Vedas are concerned as well. So tell us how the journey was. What got you to starting Mom's Therapy? Please tell us about that.
So, as you rightly said, Ayurveda is, somewhere or the other way, it is connected to all of us. And it starts from our kitchen itself. कुछ अगर कुछ काट लिया है या कुछ हो गया तो on the spot what we'll do is we'll put up a haldi on it. So that's how somewhere or the other way Ayurveda is connected to all of us. No doubt we are not getting deeply into it when it comes to a day-to-day or routine life. But as you said, Ayurveda is connected, and Ayurveda is something which is very safe to use. I strongly believe if some people, they say that somehow Ayurveda is not working for me, it is working for you. Yes, it is a little bit slower than it works with the other remedies. It is working for you. But one thing strongly I believe is it's not going to give you any kind of a harm, or it's not going to harm you, or it's not going to give you any kind of a reaction to it.
Yes.
If I have to tell you about the journey, it's like a Gujarati girl shifted from Gujarat to Bombay somewhere in 2009. And I'm very much concerned about my skin and especially my hair because since my childhood, I have used only one hair oil, which my mom used to make it. And my nanny actually used to make it for my mom and her siblings. And then my mom started for me and my siblings, and I'm the third generation. So every time I used to go and meet my mom, and I used to carry hair oil bottles with me. But then gradually it was a little bit difficult for me to carry all the bottles from Gujarat and to travel to Bombay. And one of the day I just asked my mom, will you be able to tell me how to make this oil? And then she gave me a list of the jadi booties and oil. She told me, go and find out the jadi booties and oil. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Surprisingly, I went to the Bombay market from where you get all the jadi booties and all that. And when you ask people why I'm looking for a black sesame oil, so they were like, हमको नहीं पता है काले तिल का तेल क्या है, हमको यही पता है मेरे पास तिल का तेल है. So अभी आप मैडम देखो ये काला है कि सफेद है. So another challenge for me, okay, how to define this. Again went back to mom. Mom, you have to tell me how to define this. And then the journey started. My father took me to my farms, and then he told me these are the black sesame seeds.
Yeah.
Because many of us don't know there are 3 types of tila.
Yeah.
Black, white, and red.
Yes.
Many of us who really don't have a knowledge about it. So then gradually I said, okay, तो पापा ने बोला अगर कुछ सीखना है ना तो खुद पहले खेती करो.
Yeah.
Started growing black sesame seeds into my farm. फिर उसको हम लोग ने वो कच्ची गनी में से तेल निकाला and the process started.
Yes.
The process started by making a small batch of oil in the house just to use for myself. Then my in-laws started asking for the same. Then one of my beautician used to come to my home and she was like, will you be able to give me one of the sample of your oil? And I was like, okay, take it. And then that's how the journey began. She started sharing the same samples of oil with her customers. And she was like, it's really working. And I was like, are you sure? Because see, some of the products, if you are using from your childhood, you believe it is because you are using it since years or maybe since ages, it is working for you. It doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. And it was a magical oil, and it is a magical oil which is working for everyone.
Yes.
That's how the journey started with one single product, and that is the hero product, our mom's therapy herbal hair oil.
Wow, Krishna, that was it. It was a very inspiring, journey. I feel like, the thing that you touched based on that it's very important for us to kind of, number one, get to the grassroots level before we start something, right? And I love the way that, you actually went down to the ingredients and, you found out about the whole sesame journey, went to the farm, did the farming and everything, got it. And I feel like it's so important, right time, right place, because today, in today's day and time, where I always say this, there's so much of overwhelm of everything, there are these chemicals and that cosmetic and that and this, and there's so much available over the counter these days. The best thing to do when you're overwhelmed, I always say this, do the most simple, most easiest, and the most commonsensical thing that comes to your mind when you're overwhelmed with things, So I feel like going to your kitchen and, using these kinds of things, I love the aspect that, your oil has been made with so many different natural things. In fact, all your products are made with all these natural things. So I say that it's a good time for you as well and for all the consumers, because then, through you, they're getting these kinds of natural products, which is the need of the hour. And I feel like, with the kind of work that you're doing, it also comes with some kind of challenges, because, all in for Gujju power, because I'm a Gujarati as well. So I absolutely understand where you are coming from when you told me that, you shifted from Gujarat and you came to Mumbai. I'm born and brought up in Mumbai, but yet it's the same journey. We come from the same background. How has it been being a woman entrepreneur coming from a cultural background which is, so rooted in traditional things? You ask any Gujarati and they'll tell you that, it's the whole Gujarati culture is so contagious. So tell me how it's been. What are the challenges that you've had, being a woman entrepreneur, starting a brand of your own? Tell us about that.
I believe being a Gujarati, and more than that, being a woman itself, it starts from the birth. You have challenges.
Yeah.
And from where I'm a girl from a Rabari community, जहाँ पे girls are not there, उन लोगों को study नहीं करवाया जाता है, and by the age of 15, 16, उन लोगों को शादी करा दो. And that's how the journey of any simple and the girl who doesn't want to do anything or who might want to do something, but the opportunities are not there for them.
Yes.
Fortunately, both the parents, my mom is a teacher. She's a retired teacher. My father is a lawyer. So they made sure that we are going to give the maximum education to our girls, and we are going to make sure that we are going to give them whatever they ask for. No doubt it's not going to be easy journey for them as well.
Yes.
But they made it sure that whatever we were asking, I did my graduation from Gujarat, I did my BA, then I did my LLB, because for every girl, the father is the first hero. And for me, my father is the first hero. And I really wanted to go with him and see the court, see the how he is representing himself. So initial years में मैं I think 10 साल तक मैंने lawyer करी उनके साथ as a
Yeah.
criminal lawyer.
Oh, fantastic.
And that's how the journey started. And again, it's not easy for any girl to do something of your own.
Absolutely.
Shifting to Bombay, it was another challenge because the people were new, ambience was new, cultural difference, as you say, there was a lot of cultural difference. And then to start something of your own, then people used to tell me, लॉयरशिप छोड़ के क्या तेल बेचने जाने वाली है अब, तो ये क्या एक एक तेल की सीसी कितने में बेचेगी, ये तो बहुत महंगा है या बहुत सस्ता है, and all that,
Yes.
But I'm coming from such a background जहाँ पे I think I am very headstrong. Once you decide that I'm going to do something like this, I decide that okay, I am going to do something like this, and was the main challenge I had. Then looking for the jadi booties and the packaging, because nowadays rather than comparing a product, what we do is we compare the outer package.
Yeah.
Looks, how it smells, but we
Yeah.
don't really look how it is going to work on either on your skin or on your hair. We don't
Yeah.
do that. So that was another challenge. And then when you get into the market, how to sell it, because I'm not coming from a background जहाँ पे मुझे कोई भी business का knowledge हो. So that
Yeah.
was again another challenge. But yes, challenges are part of the journey.
Yes, yes. Thank you for elaborating that. Krishna, I feel like when I was listening to you say these things, I feel like, growing up, when you come from a background which is very, like family oriented, and, like all the Gujaratis are like that, very family oriented, and, oh, you have to get married at a certain age, and, all those kinds of things, right? And then, you come out with this personality where, you know that you are very headstrong, you know that you have a very strong willpower, and you know that, what, you're meant to do much more bigger things than, the standard things that people just want you to do. So I feel like, some people, when this initial thing comes out and when you're younger, it's always taken as being rebellious, being dominating, and being aggressive. And guess what happens, women like you and me, when we grow up and we finally have the little bit of more control, and where we can divert our energy really well. For you, your brand, for me, the kind of work that I do, I feel like beautiful to see that that same stubbornness, that same strong willpower, that same strong headedness has finally got you to a place where you've learned so much, you've achieved few things that you've dreamt of all the time, and you've also somewhere down the line become an inspiration for people who want to do the same. So I feel like, yes,
actually, when I started, people used to question me, why this, why not that, why you are living a beautiful career, and why you want to go with something which you don't know. You are just going to do a trial and error. And I feel that the platform which I have got doesn't mean every girl out there is going to get it.
Yeah.
And if you have an idea, believe in your idea. That's what I believe, and that's how I have been grown up, seeing my parents, my mother, my father. They were like, if you know the idea, if you are satisfied with your idea,
yeah,
and if you're confident with your idea, it's going to help you in the society somewhere, then you must go ahead with that.
Yeah.
And that was the base in my mind.
Yes, absolutely. I love the journey. I love the aspect that, you kind of like stuck to your ground. You've also done like this educational background that you have. You practiced this for some time, and then you said that, what, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else that I believe in, much more. And I love the way that, that entire journey. Thank you for sharing, Krishna. It's very inspirational, A lot of young girls who come from backgrounds, come from very strict backgrounds also, I feel like when they listen to such such stories, the journeys of women who kind of like, trying to do something or the other in their own way, I feel like it gives them so much more power. And I feel like with your brand also, from the tiniest of things, like you mentioned this thing where the packaging, right? So I love this thing that I noticed, that it's very easy, it's very nice, it's very easy to carry with you, and everything is lightweight, it's eco-friendly. And I like how you've taken care of these tiny nuances, and I want to mention that right now because I didn't see a lot of brands doing this, and I saw it in your brand. I feel like with the hair oil, when you have that pump, and it's so easy to kind of like pump the hair oil, and then you can only use the quantity that you want to use. With the eyebrow with the eyebrow oil that you have a roller. That was very nice, because then you don't want to spoil your hands, you don't want to tip anywhere, you know.
Maximum, I'll tell you what, whatever we get, be it a 100 rupee thing or a 1,000 rupee thing.
Yeah.
The main thing is, at the end of the day, we are tired. We don't
Yeah.
want to do anything. So
Yes.
what I have gone through, okay, even I wanted to oil my hair, but who's going to just take it from the big bottle and pour it in a small thing and then apply it? So that was again a task. It was a big task when you are tired actually. That's when
Yeah.
I thought, if I want something to come, how I'm going to, how am I going to get it? And that will be easy for me. And that's
Yeah.
when I thought of, let's give them the pump one, let's give them a roll on. Again,
Yeah.
there
Yes.
are ऑयल जिसको आपको हाथ में लगा के या ईयरबड्स के ऊपर से लेके आप लगा सकते हो, बट यू डू
Yes.
इट नो
Yes. Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I mentioned is because this needs intuition, this needs insight, for you to have actually journeyed through this whole process and then applied your own little knowledge of what you want to make convenient or what you want to make easy for your consumer. I feel like it shows so much in these tiny, tiny things. I think it was beautiful. I think it was brilliant, Krishna. I really liked that a lot. So Krishna, tell me one thing, like there are these, we've listened to the journey now, we've listened to the story, right? Tell us this, if there was like one message that you had to give to, everybody who's listening, not only we've spoken about girls and women and everything, but that's not how it is. Everybody needs inspiration, young boys, girls, everybody wants inspiration these days, right? So tell us, if there was one thing that you learned from all your journey, from your education to mom's therapy to everything, if there was one message that you had to give to the young listeners, and which could help them in their own personal entrepreneurship journey, what would it be?
I think this is the most areas where all of us need to learn and know how it's going to grow and go ahead. I believe that nowadays people and the younger generation, they are very fast. There's something which I'm starting at the age of 40 or 35, which I must have started. They are starting at the age of 20s. So that is
Yes.
one of the best thing what they are doing. So I'm really thankful to them that they are doing something. At the age of 20, I don't know what was I doing. So
Yeah.
first of all, they have that sharp mind which we don't had in our 20s. So that is the biggest thing I see in them. And above all that, believe in yourself. That is the mantra. And I've read somewhere, I think Tommy Hilfiger used this line that your first idea is your best idea. And I believe the same, rather than getting 4 5 ideas and apply every idea, उसके ऊपर मेहनत करो, एक आइडिया फेल होता है, दूसरे पे करो, तीसरे पे करो. Your first choice is always going to be the best choice. Your first idea is always going to be the best idea.
Yeah.
So work hard. The journey is not going to be, easy for anyone. If we say, oh, today this person is this much, but see the journey behind it,
Yeah.
how the person has reached here. Even when I went to the market, even people were not ready to talk to me, or they were not showing any kind of interest for giving me a 1 bottle or 10 bottles or 5 bottles.
Yeah.
So the journey is not going to be easy. So stick to the journey, stick to the idea, improvise it,
Yeah.
talk to people, and above all that, believe in yourself. ये कोई जादू की छड़ी नहीं है कि within few days time or within few months time it's going to grow. No, it's like when you grow a plant, it takes a little bit of time. You have to water it every day. The same way you have to water your own ideas and your own creations. So just believe in yourself and go ahead.
Yes.
100%. It's going to help you 100% for sure.
Thank you, Krishna. That was lovely. I feel like, you mentioned this thing, and I feel like it's so important to talk about it, that, when we're working on a project, or we're working on a brand, or we're working on any single thing which we're very passionate about, I feel like everybody else sees that 20% outside, which is so glamorous and nice and, nicely packaged and everything. And the real work is actually happening in that 80% behind, where all the blood, sweat, tears, long hours, dedication, every single thing is going on behind that 80%. So I feel like, when you said believe in yourself, I feel like believing in yourself in that 80% every single day actually creates a much better and much stronger frontal 20%. And I feel like nobody should ever get intimidated, or nobody should ever get complexed with just looking at glamorous things on the outside. A lot of young energy these days, they look at things which are happening outside, and they see the final product and they're like, wow, right?
Yeah.
Well, so much effort has gone behind finally creating that 20%
So,
that we should get that 80%.
my husband is into business since ages, so we have exactly 22 years age gap. So
Wow.
I have
Okay.
learned a lot about business and
Yes.
ideology and how to maintain yourself during the time of crisis to everything. And he was
Yes.
the one who pushed me hard, and he was the one who told me that Krishna, for 1000 days, for 1000 days, you do not have to ask yourself, what are you getting back?
Yes.
You just have to give it yourself.
Yes.
You have to give more than 100%. So if tomorrow, if at all you fail, you will say, okay, I gave my 100%, but still I failed. I'm satisfied with my failure as well.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful.
And yeah, and that was the main thing which was, so much into my mind that, okay, if I fail also, I know I'm satisfied, I given my 100%.
Yes.
And for 1000 days, I never asked myself, okay, if today, if I'm putting 100 rupees, when am I going to get that 100 rupees back? For 1000 days, you have to work, and you have to work and work,
Yes.
and that's what I have done.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. That was very nice. I feel like you touched base on so many tiny points which so many people can benefit from, Krishna. Thank you. It's been absolutely fun and very, very knowledgeable to have you on this conversation today. I'm very happy, that we got to talk about so many things, your journey. I hope all the listeners can kind of get inspired or get any kind of take away from all the conversations that we've had, that you and me have had today. It's been lovely having you. Thank you once again,
Thank
Krishna, for being a part of
you
this.
so much.